identification. When we contemplate on this, we try to separate Sthula Sharira and Sukshma Sharira so that the activities of Sthula Sharira does not disturb us. This is an important point when we practice the meditation. In Vedanta, when we contemplate on the mind or the mind that is producing thoughts in action, that mind is the reflected consciousness. We are unable to separate it, and this makes all the problems. Since the connection is inherent in our regular lives, the only way is to separate the subtle body from the gross body. This is stated in the 33rd sloka. When the mind brings the suffering in connection with particular object and identify with the subject, then I say, I suffer. This is dukkha. In raga, that is attachment, with attachment to a person or a situation, you have a sort of happiness because the attachment itself says that you are connected in mind. When friendship becomes enmity, physiologically, the person is the same, but the change is psychological. Therefore, both the dukkha and then raga are also because of the mind. Now, the practice for contemplation is to make a list of these things, the thoughts and objects that the mind brings when you sit for contemplation. List the thoughts that the mind brings with grief and with attachment. The negative object create dvesha, aversion towards the object. This is the activity of the mind. The meditation is to understand who is doing this, the dukkha, raga, dvesha, and bhaya. When we can see these as actions in the mind, we also understand that if we can see an action as an object, then I am the seer, I am the observer, I am not that. Because the seer can never be seen. Obviously, I am separate from all of these. Shankaracharya ji quotes the Shruti to tell us that prana is the main source of energy, but prana is not Atma. Mind is not Atma. Atma is pure, immaculate. Only superficial change attributed to Atma. How can we experience this? For that, we must do the meditation by listing our dukkha, raga, dvesha, and all the emotions. If you do that and see how many good and bad thoughts are there daily, you will see the clarity and slowly come out of the duality of these thoughts. There will be a complete balance in the mind. The same meditation of detachment is continued in all these shlokas till 37th shloka. Again, the seeker can ask, if there is no mind, no thoughts, what is left? This is answered in the 34th shloka. If the mind is not there, you do not feel your absence. What is not absent? That it is my nature which is unaffected by time, space, and causality. There is only the I-ness left, only awareness. Swamiji elaborately and beautifully explained each word which elaborated what Atma is. Atma is nirguna or without quality. All qualities of sattva, rajas, and tamas are attributed on me. These are the three forms of prakriti, maya. Therefore, there is no chance of any action. Only the experience of awareness and consciousness is there. Consciousness and awareness cannot be separated. Only the object of awareness, what we see as awareness, like the book, etc., have shape and form. Like the light of the sun has no shape. The form that we see is because of the object. So, light is shaped according to that object. Therefore, it is said here, nirguna. All the qualities are negated because we know that these qualities are only superimposed on Atma. It is an adhyasa. Nishkriya. If qualities are not there, then maybe with action we can discriminate things. If there is no guna, then there is no action. Nityaha, eternal by nature, eternal by consciousness. Eternal because it is unaffected by man, because it is untouched by space, and it has no cause. Cause-effect relation. Atma is nirvikalaha. Change is not there in Atma because all these changes happen in mind, intellect, ego, body, and body-mind complex. Then there is no reason why Atma gets impurity or gets stained. Therefore, niranjanaha. Niranjanaha means that there is no ignorance, no covering in Atma. It is ever pure, and we experience that in deep sleep. Nirvikaraha. There is no external or internal change in Atma. External changes are there in the physical body, and the internal changes are there in the mind. There is no change in the innermost self, Atma. Atma is like pure sunlight. Nitya muktaha, ever liberated. Now we feel we are in bondage, and that is a wrong understanding. This is again a superimposition on ourselves, that we think that we are in bondage. These connections are in the empirical world. Atma removes all these connections in deep sleep. If we realize this, that is mukti. This is nitya muktosmi. So Swamiji advised us to chant this mantra always before sleep and when you wake up for the 21 days. It goes into your subconscious mind. If this is done, Vedanta guarantees that there will be no problems for you. Remember that you are ever free. The mind shifts from the gross body to the subtle body. This is the experience beyond mind. Atma is nirmalaha, means that there is no contamination. There is no modification, no thought, nothing. Beyond all this, you experience a vast space, akashaha, that has no beginning and no end. And this is elaborated in the 35th sloka. Me, which has no gunas, nirgunaha, niranjanaha, nishkriyaha, nityaha, that me is akashavat. Like space, it is completely free of action. And in space, there is no location. The body is located in space. But for space, there is no location because space is everywhere. Even the smallest change is not possible in Atma. Atma is the same in me and in God. It is sada sarva samaha siddha. Only when you think beyond the body-mind complex can you get a glimpse of this. Just as oneness is called Atma, so also sameness and all-pervading is also Atma. Everything is sameness. There is no comparison of anything, no relativity, no causality. Suddha. It is repeatedly said that Atma is Shuddha. It is repeatedly said that Atma is ever pure and you cannot contaminate Atma. Nissangaha, because Atma is unconnected with all this. If there is a chance for connection, then it could become impure and contaminated. Atma is free of all impurities. It is nirmalaha. Atma is achalaha, motionless. Body, mind, and place have movement, but Atma has no movement. Atma has no movement because there is no place where Atma can move, because Atma is everywhere. These are the meditation techniques in Vedanta. Swamiji concluded by telling us all to contemplate on this. Hari Om.
श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्य कृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। तपोपि क्षीणपापानां शान्तानां वीतरागिणाम् मुमुक्षूणामपेक्ष्योऽयम् आत्मबोधोऽभिधीयते। आत्मबोधोऽभिधीयते। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। ओम नमो नारायण to all. Yeah, in last class we discussed all good subject regarding Atma and the meditation. I hope that you all started these meditations. I suggested Nirguno Nishkriyo Nityo Nirvikalpo Niranjanaha Nirvikaro Nirakaro Nityamuktosmi Nirmalaha. So every day chanting this and contemplating on the Swarupa. And along with that, I had suggested to make a list of thoughts which appears in your meditation. So when we sit for practicing, the thoughts which are arising with the objects, so if we can note it, it will be very perfectly managed and you can see the changes. Anyhow, we are continuing with the knowledge what is said in Atmabodha. The next Sloka, yet another meditation. Now, in the last Sloka in 35, we said Atma Akashavat Sarvam. I am like space. I am not limited in this body mind complex. I am everywhere like space everywhere. Now, continuing with the same thought, Bhagavad-pada Shankaracharya ji reiterating the same idea in 36th sloka. Nitya shuddha vimukta akhanda advayam. Nitya shuddha vimukta akhanda advayam. Satyam jnanam anandam yat param brahma hameva tat. Satyam jnanam anandam yat param brahmaham tat nitya suddha vimuktaikam akhanda anandam advayam. So all the swarupa of Atma, the nature of Atma described in different words. So when it is repeatedly said, it will stay on in our minds. Therefore, Acharya is taking the trouble to repeat it again and again. So nitya shuddha vimuktaikam Atma, I am nitya, eternal. So this we already know how Atma is eternal. There is no beginning and no end for Atma. Pure, Shuddha. Isli, the pure, it means by its nature it is pure. So what is there in that? Other than that quality, nothing can be attached to it. So therefore it is always pure. It cannot connect with others, anything else, anything different from that. The reason is there is nothing to connect with Atma. Vimuktaikam, it's Atma is liberated by nature because Atma has no qualities. There is no chance to make Atma in bondage. So there is no bondage for Atma. Atma is free from all relativities. Therefore, Atma is ever liberated. So then, how many are there? How many Atmas are there? It says Ekam, only one. If you want count, it can be counted as one. Actually, if there is only Atma, when we experience Atma as all-pervading, I just think that when we experience that, can there be any count? That this is 1 and 2 and 3, no? No. This is impossible. But for our sake of understanding, in order to say that Atma has no second, just one is liberated. Otherwise, in the state of experience, there is no one, there is no two, because even one is relative. Because when we say one, it means the second is there in our mind. So we deny second and then bring one. In our Vedantic terminology, it is said sajadiya vijadiya bheta rahita. Sajadiya vijadiya bheta rahita. So Atma has no similar entity. The Atma has no what you say, similar entity as Atma. So there is no dissimilar entity other than Atma. So there is no similar entity other than Atma. There is no dissimilar entity other than Atma. Therefore, Atma is indivisible. It cannot be divided. If it cannot be divided, then why we should say Atma is one? So therefore, it's just to understand there is only one entity as it is. So nitya suddha vimukta ekam akhanda ananda. And that one which is akhandam, it cannot be divided, indivisible, undividable, unseparable. Or the word khanda means part. So it is partless. So akhandam, anandam, and advayam. Ananda we know bliss. That bliss we experience in deep sleep, in samadhi, that's an Atma. So akhanda, anandam, and again it is said advayam. Now you see in the same line, there is two words for one is ekam, and another one is advayam. Why these two? Ekam means one, and advayam means dvaya means dual, advaya means non-dual. It means an entity which has no different kind of any change or anything like that. There is no different entity than Atma. So the separation is not possible. Therefore, non-dual. So it cannot be counted like. So when we say, as I said, when we say one, there is a chance of the second also. Because the second, we deny second and we bring one there. But when we say advayam, advayam means there is no chance of duality. So that is what advayam means. So instead of saying one, we say advayam because this is more correct. So 1, 2, 3, 4, this count is not there. Therefore, we say it's non-dual Brahman, non-dual Atma. It cannot be compared with another entity. So therefore, it is vijadiya rahitaha. So there is nothing similar to Atma. Advayam. Nitya shuddha vimuktekam akhandanandam advayam. Satyam jnanam anandam yat param brahmaham eva tat. So it is said, I am that Brahma. I am that Brahma which is Satyam, existence, Jnanam, bliss, absolute, Anandam, infinite. I am that Brahma which is existence, knowledge, and infinite. So Jnanam is knowledge here, and Anandam is also there, bliss is also there. So this way, the sadhaka contemplate on himself. Yat param brahmaivaham etvatat. I am that Brahma which is absolute. Param means absolute. Ananda means infinite. So I am that Brahman. Brahman means all pervading. Brahma means all pervading, omnipresent. So I am that omnipresent Brahma, which is nitya, suddha, vimukta, ekam, akhandam, anandam, advayam, satyam, jnanam, anantam. All these are my nature. These are not the qualities of Atma. We have to remember it here. Here, these words are not considered as adjectives or qualities. Atma has no qualities. So whatever is stated here is the nature of Atma, which we experience that. Why we don't say Atma has that qualities? If qualities are there, then Atma is qualified. So the qualified can change with the qualities. Because we cannot see an example. The qualified, unchangeable, unqualified. So we don't have any example for that. Therefore, Atma is unqualified in the sense Satyam, Jnanam, Anandam and all this what we describe here, all these are nature of Atma, essential nature, innate nature. So, nitya, shuddha, vimukta, akhandanandam, advayam. So, this is the perfect meditation of Atma. As we had the meditation of Nirguna Nishkriya, so it was denying all the qualities and actions. Now this is the nature of Atma. We meditate upon these qualities, this nature of, and then we feel that we are beyond all this body-mind complex. So this way, when we practice, definitely we will get an experience or that flashes of Atma, some reflections. So that is said in next sloka. Evam nirandarabhyasta brahmevasmi divasana haratya vidya vikshepan yogani varasayanam. Evam nirandarabhyasta. Evam means in this manner. Likewise, nirandarabhyasta, constantly practiced, uninterrupted practice. Nirandara. Antara means interruption, anything in between. But nirandara means continuously uninterrupted practice. So when we practice this, Brahmevasmi the vasana. So this will make a vasana in mind, an innate inclination or a habit. So we have so many habits, no? With all those habits we live, but now we have to make a new habit, that is Brahmevasmi the vasana. Brahmevasmi, the morning and evening, whenever we get time, chant this, by heart this. So Brahmeva Asmi, this Nirguna, Nishkriya, this is my nature. So other than whatever I do, this is not me. It's different from me. Evam nirandara abhyasa brahmevasmi di vasana. So vasana, why Acharya says this is as a vasana? Because something is practiced by so much inclination, then that practice make a very deep impression in our mind, and that is called samskara. So samskara can be there for some time, then these samskaras, these habitual impressions, makes vasanas. So vasanas means tendencies or inclination towards something. Unknowingly we are attracted to something. It means we have that vasana. So that inclination. And therefore it seems innate inclination, that we can say vasana means innate inclination, and which comes from habitual impressions. The habitual impression means samskaras. And how samskaras are produced? By practice, by action. So when we act with body and mind, sense organs, by that practice, the habitual impressions are made. If we practice if that practice is intensified, intensive practice, then the strong samskaras will come out of that. And those samskaras will stay on. It cannot be discarded. It become habits because habitual impressions are there. Then from that, these vasanas are produced. So vasanas shows that samskara is there. Therefore, when we practice Brahmevahamasmi, 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 every day, morning and evening, whenever we get time, if we practice uninterrupted, in the sense with concentration and with love and emotion, so then that will make deeper impressions in our mind. It will stay on, stay long, and then harati avidya vikshepan. Then what it does? It will destroy, harati, remove, avidya vikshepan. It will remove, gradually it will remove ignorance as well as vikshepaha. All agitations or changes and in the mind. So harati avidya vikshepan roga nivarasayanam. The medicine removes the disease. Likewise, this Brahmevasmi Divasana this practice will remove avidya and vikshepa. So therefore, if we practice this morning and evening, we can see the changes. People ask, what is the meditation in Vedanta? Because nowadays people are learning many kinds of meditations, yogic meditations and no tantric meditations and this meditation, that meditation. There are so many things, but these are the meditation in Vedanta. So it's actually experiencing your own self. There is no imagination, because whatever stated here is nothing. There is no imagination. There is no chance of imagination. So try to do meditation without imaginations. Try to do meditation with a real concept, something conceived as real. Because if we imagine something or we visualize something, then it can be an object and the mind may be attracted to that, but this effect will not come there. Therefore, so meditation, what is described here, even in the next slokas, we will find more meditations. Vivikta desha asino virago vijitendriyaha Ekam Atmanam tamanandamananyadhi. This is the practice of meditation. Now, Bhagavad Pada Shankaracharya ji is continuing to tell us that how we can sit in one place and start meditating. So the place vivikta deshe asina. In a solitude place, vivikta desha, ekanta desha. Without any objects or disturbance, without disturbance, it should be ekanta, vivikta desha. Now, vivikta means separated from the disturbances. So solitude place. So where we sit, asinaha, the seated there. Viragaha. Viraga means ragaha, desires. Viraga, without desires. So bereft of all passions. So free from passions. Viragaha. So why, if we have something in mind, so mind will remember that and mind will go along with that. Therefore, mind should remove all these desires. Here people may think, when we remove all these desires, how can we live? For life we have to have desires. Otherwise, how can we live? You see, that is true. For normal life, we need all these desires. But it doesn't mean all those desires should be there when you sit for meditation. No? You can keep away all those desires. When you like to sit for meditation, let mind be free from all these desires and attractions. No, for example, if you want sleep, will you take your desires with you for sleep? No, cannot. Because in that mood of sleep, you don't want anything in your mind and you free your mind. Similarly, when you sit for contemplation on Atma or you just practice meditation, let mind be free from desires. This is very simple, as how we do in sleep, deep sleep, before going to bed. We remove all this. So similarly, keep away all these desires and all other mental activities. Vijidendriyaha, then controlling the senses, overpowering the senses. Vijidendriyaha, only that person can sit for meditation desirously and concentrate on Atma. Vijidendriyaha, if he has no control over sense organs, he cannot sit, no, he cannot even calmly, quietly sit in one place. So vimukta deshaha, this is the place, asinaha, seated in that place, viragaha, without desires, vijidendriyaha, controlling all sense organs. Bhavaye Ekam Atmanam tam anandamananyadhi. Then bhavayet, contemplate on one Atma, one self. Now you may think, you have how many selves? Now why Acharya ji is saying one self, you contemplate on one self? You have too many selves? No self. Only one, no. I have only one self. It means all of us as one self each, at least we can say. Now, then if we want to meditate, or no, just when we think about us, we think about us as one person, as an individual self. We never connect ourselves with others. So individual self means only one self. So identify that. Now, why Acharya is saying this? When you sit for contemplation, you remember your own nature. That's what he wants to convey here. You don't remember all your qualifications, all your upadhis, I am that, I am this, all this. You don't remember all that. Just remember this, I am this self. So one, Ekam Atmanam. So it means you only think about your own self, nothing else. Actually, we always think about ourselves. No, we are all selfish people. We think about ourselves. But the problem is we are thinking the self with qualities, with attributions. Therefore, that experience is different from this experience. So this experience that I am this body, I am a human being, all this is the experience. So remove all those and only remember Pancha koshatita Atma. Atma is beyond all these 5 sheaths of Pancha koshas. Tam anantam ananyadhi. Now he gives 2 more adjectives for contemplation. Anandam, infinite. That Atma is not finite. It is infinite. Boundless, or we can say there is no boundary for that. So it is Ananta, all pervading. Ananyadhihi, without thinking of anything else. Anyadhihi, ananyadhihi. Anyadhi means thinking something else. Ananyadhihi means without thinking of anything else. Only Atma. This is very easy because we always remember ourselves. We remember our own self and we always connect with us. So it should be easy for this. But the problem is the mind is not ready to accept that. Mind is not ready to accept that Atma alone is real. Other than that, everything is unreal. So this truth is not accepted by mind. Now you have to educate mind by all this Vedanta. Tell mind that what you think is wrong. You are not correct. I am not this. I am not this body. Body is only there when I am awake in Jagrat, in this state of Jagrat. So why you are so much attached to this body? Now, we identify ourselves with the Jagrat Atma. The Atma, the body and mind which is there in Jagrat. But I am there in Swapna also. I am there in dream state. I am there in deep sleep state. But if we can identify ourselves with deep sleep state, I am that. This is only outside activities, my activity. This Jagrat is my office. My home is deep sleep. This way, if you can change, then everything is possible. Now, identifying with this Jagrat Atma, you are trying to take this Atma there in deep sleep. And you say, who was there yesterday, went to sleep, and then came out. So you are taking that Atma who was there in Jagrat, in the waking state. Because we have card and all passport and everything in waking state, no? We have no ID card of. This is the problem. So we are so much attached to these things. And this is what is called as proof of identity, the passport. And all this, now we have this Aadhaar. What are they? All is proof of identity. Whose identity? Your self identity. Your identities. Now you think that this is me who is holding this passport. This is the problem. And this, the holder of that passport is there in waking state. Therefore, all our activities are centralized in Jagrat only. We are not thinking about deep sleep state. Because we can't make an identity for that. That's true, that is not possible. Okay. But we can remember, we can change our identity from inside, that my reality is that I am that Atma which is there in deep sleep. Without body, mind, prana, intellect, ego, I am free from all this. I have no home. I have no friends. I have no relatives. I have no job. I have no qualifications. I have nothing. Because when I sleep, I have nothing. So that is my true nature. Now, this is what is happening here. It's like I came out from there and I am doing some activity for, it's like for my existence. That's all. And then I go back to that. So bring that existence, bring that experience of deep sleep and identify yourself with that. Then you solve all the problems. Now, it can make wonders in your life. Just changing this, shifting your identity from this awakening state to the deep sleep state. Because you know that you are free from all this. Now when you think about Atma, Nirguno, Nirvikaraha, Nishkriyaha and all those, you are thinking from this point of view in the waking state. So what is there in the waking state, from that point of view, from that level, with that perception, you are seeing other things. You are studying Vedanta with that perception. Then it's not possible. Then there are so many confusions, there are so many questions. No? If you take that deep sleep state and the experience you have, because now we are not doing anything there. We already have that experience. And we have no doubt on that. It's a thorough experience. Undoubted. Then why you are not accepting it? What is the problem? Why you are unable to accept that is my core nature? That is me. This is all additional. So like you wear so many dresses for, every day you change dress. You act in many forms. Similarly, the waking state, you come out of that. But really speaking, there is no coming and no going. That reality continues and what is here in waking state is additional, is added, what we call as attribution, superimposed attributions, because it cannot be proved as yours. It cannot be proved as yours. You are not carrying it. Therefore, contemplate on this, and then the next sloka beautifully describes how you can be in that Atma. Atmanevakhilam drishyam pravilapya dhiya sudhi bhavayedegam atmanam nirmalakashavatsata. You say again and again, Bhagavad Pada Shankaracharya ji bring this word bhavayet. Bhavayet means contemplate, meditate. This is the word we use for contemplation. Bhavayet. Contemplate on Atma. Atmaneva akhilam drishyam pravilapya dhiya sudhi. He says you are an intelligent being. Sudhi. You are wise. You know what to do. So therefore, do this. Dhiya. By intellect or by contemplating on this. Dhiya pravilapya. Knowingly make all this dissolved. What? Drishyam. Drishya means the world of objects, this visible universe. Drishya, visible universe. What is visible is called drishya. So what is perceived, sense perceived world is called drisya. So dissolve all this relative world in Brahman. Atmaneva akhilam. So bring to Atma. This world, this relative world is in Atma. It should be dissolved in Atma. Then bhavaye degam atmanam. Only experience that Atma. Atma alone is there. Nirmala akashavatsata. The sky without any stainless, without any stain, without any mark, without any cloud, clear sky, like Nirmala Akashavatta. Bring that contemplation in the mind, bring into the mind. Nirmala Akasha, the clear sky, without any no objects, without any form, nothing is there. So nirmala akasavad satha. So this can be that the process of that contemplation. So now how is possible? How we can do this? So sit quietly. First, just sit quietly. It means without moving, just sit, no movement. Then concentrate on breathing. Now inhale and exhale. Very slow inhale and very slow exhale. So when you inhale slowly, smoothly, then mind get automatically concentrated. Now, as you breathe slow motion and very slow movement, so mind immediately gets concentrated. So do that for some time, maybe 10-15 times. Then bring the clear sky into the mind. Just visualize that sky. So sky is covering all the objects of this world, sense perceived world. So you just see that sky is there everywhere. So that clear sky is imagined here. That is what Acharya suggests here. Nirmala akashavat sata. And whenever the thought, whenever anything, when thoughts comes, let it flow, that the thought, let the thought come there. This just let it be there for some time, and then it disappears into that sky. So it goes. It is not standing there. It's like the bubbles on the water or the air in the sky. It's just flow. So you are not stopping it. You are detached from that. So like this, we can practice for some time. Atmaneva akhilam drishyam pravilapya dhiyasuthi nirmalaga shavat sata. Now we know that the space is everywhere. This akasha is everywhere, not only above us, but akasha is all pervading. So now try to bring that contemplation in mind, that sky is everywhere, the space is everywhere, and the air what we breathe in that air is also everywhere. So this sky imagination or sky is visualizing sky, then comes with the space and air. So this, all these three, actually they are one, but for the purpose of meditation, we should bring all this. So now mind is in some other realm where the objects has no chance to appear, because when we think about space, the all-pervading space, in and out, everywhere is space. So the objects has no separate appearance or entity. It is within space. So this is one technique of meditation, starting with deep breath practice and slowly doing this process. So bhavayet Ekam Atmanam. So why we contemplate on this as space or whatever? Because the space is one that we know already. We have no doubt on that. So our mind is confirmed that space is one. Therefore, if we contemplate on space, Atma is also one. That existence is also one. So slowly that experience will go within and be there for some time. So there is no function of mind with the objects. So mind will forget all those objects for some time. So this is in the beginning. It may take a little more time, but when we practice, it's easy to get into that contemplation on that level of meditation. So bhavayet Ekam Atmanam nirmala akasha vatsata. Now, this space and the Atma is one. So that the similarity there. And space has no form and Atma also has no form. So this is one technique. Another technique we already had discussed, that is closing the eyes, sitting in a meditative asana or any asana, then seeing the objects outside, imagining those objects. All these objects, what I see is nothing but earth, the product of earth. So now that earth is the product of air or water. So in between you can directly go to air also, because all this earth is made of gases, that as we know from science. From that gases, you can see the space again, because all those gases are there in the space. So this is called a 5-element meditation, because you imagine elements one by one and then identify with that. Now, all these activities in the mind is connected to those elements. So without those elements, it cannot happen. So therefore, this whatever the objects we see outside are identified with gases as air, and the air and gases are there in the space. And now you are the seer of that space. Now space has existence because of you. Why? You are giving the existence to space. If you are not there, what about space? There is no space, there is no water, there is no earth, nothing. So the existence of all these elements is from you. So you are the substratum of all this. The ultimate cause we have discussed. So this cause and effect theory, or this elements meditation or whatever connected to this. So one by one, we discriminate all this and visualize and then the meditation happens. Because in the process of meditation, to bring mind in the state of meditation, mind into the state of meditation, we do some practice, some contemplations. And then when mind is calm, then there is no need to visualize anything. The mind will automatically be one with Atma. So there is no chance that mind can be separated. So there is no object. If there is no object, then there is no mind. When there is object, there is mind. So you free all those objects, then manasohi amani bhave dvaidam nevopalabhyate. It is said in Mandukya Karika. When the mind become non-mind, it mind become mind loses its existence, or mind become thoughtless, actionless. So manasohi amani bhave. The mind when mind becomes non-mind, then there is no duality. Dvaidam nevopalabhyate. So that is what I said. When there is no object, there is no need to meditate. Then the process of meditation stops. When there is object in the mind, you have to regulate that object and thinking process, all this. Because if a set of thoughts appears in your mind, you have to clear one by one. So when those objects are clear, then there is no mind, then there is no need for any meditation techniques. Any technique, you don't need any technique there, because it stops. So manasohi amani bhave dvaitam nevopalabhyate. So it can happen like this. So try to practice all this one by one. No, you listen to this lecture once more, and then practice one by one. Because in this lecture, whatever I say shortly. So you have to listen to it once more and get the clear idea, then practice. Okay. So Atma, now Atma plus Atma equal to Atma. No, there is no self plus self equal to self, and self minus self equal to self. So that's the situation. And in between, the mind has so much wrong. Mind makes all this thought process and the individuality, identity, and all those. But you cannot reduce self, and you cannot add on self. Okay. So there is no plus, no minus. It's changeless. Now who is changing? Now after this meditation, I said you will feel a big change. Now who is going to change? Your mind is going to change. Okay. Believe that self has no change. It cannot be changed with all this practice. Dhyayativa lelayativa. Self seems to be meditating, but actually it is not meditating. Therefore, I just now said, when there is no object in the mind, there is no practice of meditation. If the object comes, then you try to concentrate on that. Right? So today we stop here. And if you have any question, any clarification you need, please ask.
Pranam Swamiji. Namaskaram.
Hari Om, Namaskar.
Hari Om. As you said that in today's class, as you said about meditation, I thought that we have to condition our mind to achieve meditation. But as we learned from your past lectures, Atman or self is devoid of this body mind sense complex. And other way around, we have to use our mind complex to liberate our Atman, sort of, to achieve meditation. If Atman is pure, it is nirvikalpa, nishkala. So why do we need to liberate it by exercising our mind?
Yeah. So mind has all these problems. We want to get rid of the problems with mind. For example, if we are suffering, so we have some experience of suffering, that is because of mind. And mind gets tense, so we have to release that tension. And mind is working on the objects constantly with many sense organs and all like that. So we have to get rid of this sort of activities of mind. So therefore, I said, when mind is calm, it means mind has no object. It's not active in that purpose. Then there is no need for meditation. There is no point of concentration. So unless it is not happening, we have to adopt some way or other for this meditation purpose. Now, regarding Atma, Atma has no disturbance. How we can prove it? That same as in deep sleep. Deep sleep, Atma alone is there. There is no mind, there no sense organs, no body, ego, intellect, all those are not there. Then there is no disturbance. So there is no need for any meditation or any practice there. So understand this, the difference between the mental activities and the nature of Atma. So this is called the ultimate discriminative knowledge, the viveka jnana. Is all we can do by intellect or this by learning all this. Okay.
Right, Swamiji. Last time, as you said that when I said that Jivatma cannot create Brahmanda, and if that's true, then Jivatma and Paramatma are different entities. You
Pardon,
gave me an example.
I could not get you in the last sentence.
Last time I asked you that Jivatma is enveloped in ignorance, enveloped in a human body mind complex, and I think Paramatma is different than Jivatma. Then you gave me an example that it's the same. Suppose we keep a vessel of water in the open in the sun, right?
Right.
The water gets warm, right? So if that is true, because water has its innate nature as being cool, but when it is attributions are there, right? Like sunlight is there, it gets warm, and when we keep it back into a dark room, it becomes cool. In the similar way, can Atma be superimposed or attributed by the outside world, or does it get affected by the superimposition or attributions of the outside world?
Yeah. Atma can be attributed, superimposed, but it is not get affected, because Atma is unqualified for any change. So attribution can happen, but it cannot be get affected. As when we look at sky, we see, so there are so many colors, or what clouds are moving here and there, all these are happening. And when there is rain and lightning and all this, all those are happening in the sky. But these are happening there, of course, but in spite of all this, sky is untouched with all this. That space is untouched with all this. That is what we know. Similarly, all these can be attributed on Atma, but Atma is untouched with all this. Therefore, even in our life, we can take an very simple example of our life, the experience. If we have, if I have any pain in my body or any diseases or something, until I get deep sleep, I suffer from that. Once I get deep sleep, though the diseases and pain, the cause of pain is still there, I don't feel any pain there in me. So in deep sleep state, the connection of body and mind is not there, is disconnected. So then there is no pain. If the attribution or the superimposition or these causes of all this suffering, if they are connected with Atma, they should be there even in deep sleep. Because what is actually connected, that will be there whenever, whatever changes it may be, but it will stay on. But we don't see that in our deep sleep state. Likewise, we can say Atma is always asanga, asango hyayam purushaha. Therefore, I said Atma is unqualified for any connection, unqualified for any change. It's impossible. It cannot be that. Hari Om.
Thank you, Swami. Thank you,
Okay,
Swami. Hari Om.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions, please? I think you are all in deep meditation. No, there is no questions there. This is good. So Atmanyeva Akhilam Drishyam Pravilapya Dhiya Sutihi. Because once you dissolve all these questions and answers and all these in Atma, and when you are in a meditative mood, so there won't be any questions. Okay, so I think we can conclude here for today. We have covered 39 slokas of Atma Bodha. Actually, the main part we have covered. Now there will be some discussion about some sadhanas like this, and the last part is about Jivan Mukta. So by practicing all this meditation, you slowly experience that state of Jivan Mukti. You will feel that I am free. Actually, I am free from all this. Therefore, today I said, to try to identify yourself with that deep sleep state, what the experience of deep sleep state. So think that Brahmahamasmi, I am that Brahma, I am that existence. So do this, practice this. Okay. Om Harihi Om. Om Purnamataha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi